Welcome to the first edition of K2 Disrupts, where we talk about loaded terminology in the industry. My name is Ken Cheung, VP of Growth at K2 Digital.
And I'm Byrne, Head of Digital Innovation here at K2.
So I don't think I have to tell you that this is a loaded term. When we talk about machine learning and AI, we're really thinking that this is the be-all and end-all of the future of the world, and it's better than sliced bread. But let's start with the basis of why we talk about AI and what the three typical applications are. Martin, off to you.
Yeah, it's true. There's a lot of hype around it right now, but the reality is natural language processing is probably the most common thing. A lot of the big platforms like Watson have an API for that. Secondly, you're seeing predictive analytics, particularly for accelerated decision making. And now you're beginning to see it creep into operations, automating business process, digital machinery processes, manufacturing processes, making smart decisions on complex assembly lines and logistics processes. So those are really the three areas you're seeing it break out.
Yeah, and for me as a guy who started in BI and analytics, I really question whether that's actually artificial intelligence. We're overhyping all of this. And the reason why is I want to set us back and show how old I am. Back in the day when the internet first started, we said that real estate agents were going to be displaced. And now we're saying that Wealthsimple is going to displace advisors. Well, really, this isn't really artificial intelligence because we've never got into the complexity of the sale. These kind of sales are actually emotional sales. You need to understand the person. You need to understand the arbitrage. You need to paint the picture for a person about how they're going to retire or how they're going to live in a house. And I think that's really been the missing element when we talked about AI as a former programmer. I just think these are all just algorithms and analytics, really. But there have been some new developments in the market.
In 1996, we started to see a shift from hard logic to softer logic in AI. And what that's really started to let systems do is actually bring a human understanding or a human-like understanding to these processes. And that's what you really need to start displacing some of the more sophisticated business processes, like a sales process. Like selling a car is not about features and functions. It's really about a human understanding of someone's willingness to trade things off. The Google AI project recently defeating some Go champions in Japan and China. That game is really about negotiating and figuring out the headspace of your opposition, not just game structure.
Imagine AI, and this is happening right now, right from MIT, AI that can actually predict and understand your current emotion, understand if you're angry. Imagine the applications from a chatbot perspective and knowing when to hand off to a human operator. Second, we've also seen the press about the poker games where computers are actually beating people at poker. And that's a very interesting storyline because it's not about having perfect information. It's about having perfect information and using that imperfectly to bluff. And the application there is even more amazing because that's the one place where when we talk about engagement cycle and making sales that the computers and machine logic have never really been able to broach. The people who feel the happiness are the people who think they got a deal when they negotiated with someone. Until we bring that forward into the enterprise and into business, we aren't going to see a real shift into AI making a real dent on any of these industries that we're talking about right now.
AI is probably going to go through shifts right now because one of the biggest problems with AI is AI right now is very rarely real time. A lot of AI is still about crunching a lot of existing data in chunks and digesting it and processing it. So first off, you need a lot of data. You need a lot of historical and reference data because it needs to build its learning before it can make decisions about things. The ability to bring it down to a personal level, which means compacting it, making it available, that's going to be a challenge. And then integrating it with other technologies. Still very difficult, very complicated to do right now. Those three things will be overcome though, because at the same time, those are the three stages that you're going to see in the future. AI will become real time, AI will become very personal, and AI will start tying in with other things to help you make decisions in other technology contexts.
And I think from a growth perspective, many organizations struggle with the taxonomy for their organizations, what kind of people they need, and what kind of project to do their first AI or machine learning around. And I think that's where K2, with our experience with our clients, really understand how to take that innovative technology, how to move it forward, how to make it real, and to make it profitable within your first year of operating a project like this. So if you're trying to do something in this area, I would encourage you to reach out to myself or Martin and let's have a great conversation about it because we're definitely excited about this space and we're looking forward to talking about more loaded terminologies in our next edition of K2 Disrupts.